Okay, good morning, everybody. I had a few questions, and this isn't the first time, about some of the products that I actually use when I'm doing the featherweights, and I've got a whole slew of them, and sometimes I use a combination of them. Sometimes I will use a product for an object one time and then use a different one the next time. It just kind of depends on like what is within reach. So when I clean all of my chrome parts, I have used Turtle Wax's chrome polish and rust remover for quite some time. I had a 1992 Camaro. It was my first car, and it had some Flowmaster chrome tips on the back of it. And I had found this out in my dad's garage one day, and I just started cleaning the chrome tips on my Camaro with it, and I really liked it. So I've always had this stuff on hand, and when I started doing the featherweights, I just thought, I'll just give this a shot. So I do use that product quite often. The other thing is rubbing compound. I do use rubbing compound from time to time on the body of the bed or the machine itself. And there are different grades of rubbing compound. I did not know that. This one is just a plain old heavy duty cleaner. And so that's what I use. I will probably look into the different grades of it as we move on. As per cases, like what's suggested on the Featherweight shop, I use the Titebond Premium Wood Glue. They do have different colors. I know that there's a red one. Steven has the red one out in the garage. I'm not really quite sure what the difference is. I didn't really look into that. I just know that I use the blue one. The kiwi polish, and then the kiwi scuff cover. The other thing that I did is I use for my solutions, I either use kerosene or rubbing alcohol. I know they don't recommend rubbing alcohol, especially when it comes to the paint, because it can actually distort the paint. I don't use the alcohol in anything that has a black painted surface, but it is used for time to time. But I put kerosene in a small dropper bottle, and I use kerosene as the main. I also use the motor oil and the grease from the Featherweight shop. I'm going to show you how the directions talk about cleaning and relubing the motoring points on the featherweights. I'm going to do a video on that because I think that the supplies that they give you from the Featherweight shop when you purchase this oil it works really well. It's awesome. So I want to do that. When I clean the cases also, I am a young living person. We do a lot of essential oils here in my house, both for health reasons and around the house. So one of the products is I use Thieves household cleaner for everything. We don't have bleach or scrubbing bubbles or anything like that. We use this for like our toilets, showers, whatever. So I will wipe down my cases with Thieves. I also will use some essential oil blends when I spray in the inside of the cases. Not that it's going to remove the smell or anything, because I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what is in that glue, but I do believe it has something to do with like horses or something like that. It's a live compound material, so you know you're not going to be able to get all of the smell out with a spray. They do have the light that you can, helps kill that bacteria, and we may eventually venture into doing that as well. But so I do use Thieves to clean my cases off with also. And then in terms of waxing and such, I do use the rubbing compound, but I am a car person. I've hung out with a lot of people when it's come to car shows and things like that. Meguiar's is hands down one of the cleaner waxes that most of my car buddies use, and I've had really good results with Meguiar's. I love Meguiar's. I know the Featherweight shop recommends this particular brand. I am not a huge fan of this one. I've noticed that it dries really fast and it will leave swirl marks, and I end up going back to my Meguiar's. So in a lot of times I do use a combination of both is what I say, because Steven favors this particular one over Meguiar's. So, it really just depends. Sometimes I use both. So I really can't answer, there isn't one thing that I particularly use. And when I'm doing the machines, there isn't just one thing that I particularly do. I just use like a combination of multiple different things. So hopefully this will help anybody that is curious of what we do here at Featherweight 38.